T minus 40 seconds. T minus 30 seconds. T minus 20 seconds. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Welcome to the Play It By Ear podcast. The podcast where the topics may vary because, hey, we play it by ear. And now your hosts, Eric Fiskus, Brady Liming, and Todd Griffin.
Hey there, hi there, ho there. You're as welcome as can be.
There we are.
Yeah.
Yes. I haven't seen our beautiful faces in a while.
I know.
Our striking visage.
Welcome to episode 93 of the Play By Ear podcast. Brady Liming and Todd Griffin are with me.
Yeah.
Caught you mid-drink.
You did.
6 people in the room currently.
Yeah.
Half
please
a dozen.
Please check in if you so desire. Of course, it's been a couple weeks since we've been here. We are selectively scheduling, and I think we've mentioned this in previous episodes. And I say selectively scheduling because I'm going to make an announcement. I think we had talked about this in passing, gentlemen. So I guess I'm kind of making an executive decision, but.
And we fully support your decision to buy an alpaca.
Do it. Hit him, Eric.
Hit him. All right.
Or do we want to wait until there are more people in the room?
Yeah.
Like 7, 8 people in the room.
6.2.
I don't know. Our number's reducing now. So if we wait any longer, nobody will be here with us. All right. Gary Troutman is here with us. Hello, Gary.
Hey, Gary.
Hey, Gary.
All right. Like I said, anyone else, please check in if you so desire. So my announcement is, like I said, we've been selectively scheduling, meaning we'll put out instant classics and take a week here and there off. Reason being is we have been gearing up and planning for our 100th episode, which is coming up here, obviously, in 7 episodes from now, whenever those will drop. We have decided to go out on a limb, take a leap of faith, I guess you could say. We've discussed this.
Faith.
Right. You gotta have faith. We have discussed this amongst ourselves off and on for a while, and what we've discussed is doing a truly live episode with an audience, a studio quote unquote audience. So we decided episode 100 would be a good time to do that. So June 5th, which is a Sunday evening, we will do our episode 100 at Sons of Toil Brewing.
Live.
Live.
Sunday.
We need to do that in a promo.
Oh, yeah.
Warm summer nights and Play It By Ear podcast. You can't go wrong. It's quite a mixture.
The summer nights.
And beers.
Beers.
Some people like that kind of thing. I'm not one of them, but hey.
Get your greens.
So, we will be at Sons of Toil Brewing. We will be in the outdoor tent area. So we will be, I don't want to say confined. That's the wrong word. We'll be segregated from the main building.
I was going to say, how about featured?
Featured.
We'll be featured in the tent.
There we go. That's a good word.
With Patty Smythe.
Yes, Howard. We're hoping so. Welcome, by the way. Live audience would be great. That's what we're hoping. Like I said, leap of faith on our part. We have never done anything using this particular platform of that sort. I think we've all been in front of live audiences doing different things, but not this.
So it will be like an episode that we do here, but just in front of the people live and in person. And there will be audience interactions, of course. And I don't think we'll release more details as we get, closer to the time, but there could be prizes maybe.
Yeah.
And maybe
Go ahead.
confectionaries.
Confectionaries. I was going to say, can we at least say, without a doubt, there will be cake?
There will be cake.
And
not the
by golly, that is reason enough to go ahead and make sure your calendar is marked. And Eric, we might have stopped you before you got there, but the time.
The time 5:30. Right, 5.
I
thought it was 5 to 8.
5 to 8.
5 to
yes.
8. That's right. That's right. I don't know why 5:30 in my mind. 5 to 8. Yes, 5 o'clock. And we'll put out more about how the schedule will work there. It won't be a full 3 hours of our show. I mean, we'll kind of segregate that out a bit, but be looking on the Facebook page. You'll get an invite if you're a follower of ours. If you're not a follower of ours, go follow us and you'll get that invite. We really don't know how many people are going to show up, but we're hoping at least the 10 will be full.
Yeah. We want to,
on thousands.
And more importantly, I think just as opposed to just coming out and watching us do what you can watch us do from the comfort of your own home, we just would like for you guys to come out and celebrate with us.
Yes. This is as much about you as it is about us. I mean, we are self-indulgent at times, but this is the cakes and kegs are about you.
That's right.
Come out and join us for our celebration. So I've talked to a few people that say they're coming already, and we've kind of let the cat out of the bag here and there. But Gary says, "How much are tickets?" Well, Gary, it's free.
It's free, man.
Totally
admission.
Free.
A summer evening, and it's early enough so those who have to work the next day, you won't be out late. So 5 to 8 again is a summer evening, free of charge. The only thing you'll pay for is your drinks, obviously.
Right.
But
And maybe the next morning, if you drank too much,
yeah.
you will be paying.
But yeah, be on the lookout for that invite. Give us an RSVP. Again, we kind of like to have a decent idea of who may be there. Obviously, seating inside the tent is limited. If it kind of bleeds outside of the tent, I think we could probably work it out to where we have some speakers maybe outside that will allow
slip
the people
a C note to the fire marshal.
Yeah. Well, and also we probably should, and we'll put more on our releases and our details as we get them out there. But one thing that we want to make sure that people know is we're not asking everybody to come and say, hey, you have to be live with us and speak. If you want to just come and hang out in the back and not participate in the conversations and stuff, that's completely fine. We don't want
pressure.
We don't want people to think, that we're expecting everybody to come and some people might not want to be live on Facebook. So
right.
If you don't want to be participatory, you do not have to be.
Or if you're in witness protection.
There you go. Yes.
Just having people speaking for us. Just having people there is, I think will be a good atmosphere for us. Like I said, it's kind of a leap of faith. I think, I hope people enjoy it as much in person as they do here on Facebook or the audio version or whatever way you choose to imbibe in our show. Hello, Savannah. Welcome.
Hello.
Hey, Savannah.
Howard Howard says, don't forget your lollipop.
Can't do that.
For the game.
And Howard, we definitely expect to see you there, man. You're a big part of this.
Yes.
Your smarts, your endless knowledge, your wit.
He said he's in witless protection.
Howard, I was actually going to make the same joke, and damn you beat me to it. Well done.
All right. So, if you just joined us here, we are doing our 100th episode in front of a live studio audience, Sons of Toil Brewing, June 5th, 5 to 8. It's a Sunday evening. And how about that?
How about dim apples? Oh, I didn't read that. Never mind.
Nest teacher ever? I hope that's good.
Becky, see, the nest teacher ever's making fun, Becky.
Let's see now.
There we go.
There.
Thank you, Becky. I'm humbled. All right. So yeah, Sons of Toil Brewing, June 5th, 5 to 8, Sunday evening. Be there. Have a piece of cake, confectionaries, kegs. Let's party.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So those things aside, if you have not been with us before, we each bring a topic to the table. We talk 20-ish minutes on said topic, and more the ish than 20 generally. So we will exhaust said topic and move on. Edits are always fine, Becky. It's all good. Like I said, appreciate it. All right. So we are in the order on the screen, which we will present our topics, Brady, Todd, and then me rounding things out with our game of the evening. So Brady,
Yeah.
the floor is yours.
The floor is mine, and it is good to be back and doing this. So, this is going to be a relatively serious, heavy topic. But on Barstool Sports, there had been a recent post that caught our attention, and it's something that we've touched upon in earlier episodes, and it involves intestinal distress. So basically, this
are you sure you want to dump this on them tonight?
I don't know. It'll be loads of fun. So, anyway, so this is about it is a bracket. It is a tournament, but it is a reverse tournament. It is the worst places ranked. It's a tournament.
I see what you did there.
Of worst places to have to conduct your commerce when you're away from home. Which, before I even start this, one of the comments before, like when I was looking at this, somebody said the list could just be one thing, and it'll just say "not home." So
I am a home field advantage guy, so I will not like any of these things. Go ahead.
Okay, so they're not really seated in any way particular. It just has a couple matchups, and I did add one play-in candidate. So and I'm going to put that on the weakest matching. So the first one is your new girlfriend's house or boyfriend. You get the idea.
Significant other.
Yes, your significant other's place that you just started dating, or your significant other's family's place. So you are at a family gathering or function, intestinal distress, commerce needs to be conducted. So which one is worse? The girl or a guy you just started dating, or you're way waded into the muck, significant other's family's house at a function or some kind.
Can I start this?
Yeah,
absolutely.
All right, so I have two ways of looking at this, and so all right,
number two.
No, I'll start with number two. Okay, so one side, and actually the two different ways flip the coin. I mean, so that changes my answer. So one way I look at this is I would rather it be at the family's house. Let me flip it. I would rather it be at the just significant other's place, because there's only one person there that could stand to that you could be embarrassed by. You see what I'm saying? Like, yeah. To where the family's house, there might be multiple people. If it's a family function and you're at the family's house, there's multiple people that could that could be victimized.
Point of order.
Au
Point of
contraire,
order.
mon frere. I would say the opposite.
Well, hang on a minute. Let me do my flip first, because this is probably what you're going to say. The other way of looking at that is, well, if there are more people there, that's potentially more people who you could blame it on, or who could take the fall. Like, you could just walk out and be like, man, you guys, I tell you, some people just have no couth. So you see what I mean? It could go both ways. Like on one hand, the fewer the people, the better. But on the other hand, the more people,
Unless that family gatherings in their studio apartment.
yeah.
So there's only one ingress and egress, and they know it's going to be you.
See, I took this as the first example, like the significant other place was just you and your significant other there only, and then the other one, it's his or her family, and meaning a get together of some sort.
I mean, I see both opinions, and they are strong, based in fact opinions. You just have to weigh the lesser of two evils. And if this is a significant relationship that you've been in a while, their family will kind of have to accept you, even if you have roadkill digestive system issues. But
I also
if it's new love.
I also think this changes whether you're a male or a female.
No, I'll still be male, I think.
No,
So-
I'm saying I can see men and women having two different answers here with this.
I agree.
That's a good segue.
Yeah.
because The women in the room are coming strong on this one. Becky, boyfriend's family's house. OMG, love the dad, but the mom's a little psycho, kind of crazy. So you're saying you would want to befoul their atmosphere because mom's a little crazy?
Or maybe because the dad would just high five you and be like,
Yeah.
Carissa, welcome.
oh, Carissa?
Says making a deposit at the future in-laws is better. More people to blame it on.
There you go.
And Allison, welcome, Allison. Travel size poopery is essential, indeed.
I recommend I think it's black pepper and leather or something like that. It's
Pepper and leather.
I think that's what it is. Is
that B&D poopery?
That reminds me of the old B&D. Remember the called it the bondage and discipline in front of my parents, not knowing what B&D, what that even stood for.
Oh.
And they just kind of let that go right on by.
Yeah, they might not have known.
But I probably had to move on in order. I didn't even mean to do that to get through this. But we could revisit this. But gentlemen, we do have to make a decision.
So we're looking for the worst place or the best place?
Yes. See, I said
Or the least best.
The least best.
Or the least worst, I mean.
This is a reverse tourney. So
no
the
good
worst
answer here.
is going on.
So you want the worst place?
Yeah.
I would say the worst place is the just the insignificant other's house.
Yeah. If it's solo and it's new love, that's pretty horrible. So I'm going to go with that one.
Bad. That's bad. Todd?
I agree.
Okay. All right. So the next one, a porta potty or the beach.
Like on the actual beach?
Are we talking about like we're like just cats? Like we're just gonna just
Cover it fresh.
I mean,
no, okay, it really does not say, but I'm going to make it audible, and I think I know what they mean. If you are going to a public beach on the ocean, like if you go to Fort Walton Beach, there's a public beach, and there's a shower
house.
Yeah, there's a shower house, everything, and they're never normal toilets. It's like corrugated metal. It's like a glorified pit toilet, but instead of wood, it's cinder block.
So you're saying it's not on the actual beach like we are all just we're not going to sand it and hand it. I mean, we're not. I mean, it's
no. Grit and anyway, but No, this is actually the structure, not the sand. It's the structure. Keep in mind, it's 95 degrees.
Or is it in the water? Like while you're in the like?
I don't even want to think about that. but yeah, we're gonna go with the facility that are public beaches.
Okay.
I think the thing that confuses me is it doesn't give a location for the porta potty. I mean, I think that matters.
Yes.
Okay.
And the amount of time since the porta potty has been serviced.
Because if it's a brand new, like if you're the first one in a porta potty, it's not terrible.
That's not bad.
No,
And it might be clean. I mean, it might be just after the cleaning, so clean that you could eat off the floor. That kind of clean.
Yeah, those ride pretty nice.
But if it's 95 degrees, that porta potty is not ventilated or air conditioned. So it might be clean, but it would be like having to conduct commerce in a sauna.
Oh, they're ventilated.
Not well.
Not well.
So they're ventilated because the guys I used to work with some guys at a crew that they would like to throw rocks down the big vent, like the pipe vent coming down the back of it. And if you weren't aware, if you were.
It's awful.
You would be wearing the contents of a porta potty quickly.
Ooh. And I don't know. Carissa, are you allowed to? Can you share to them the story a little bit that you'd kind of mentioned to me? If she's still here. If not, just tell me. Go ahead, and I'll tell it. But so what say you guys? The porta potty, or it could be the kind. It doesn't say if it's the clean kind or the kind that looks like it's got like it's basically a pit toilet built over potting soil where it's coming up in a mound because it's so foul.
Like an outhouse.
Yeah.
I think a porta potty is always the worst choice. Always.
Yeah. See, I think it depends on what's. First off, there's nothing.
I would rather dump in Depends than a porta potty.
Okay, so here's the thing. I've never. The fact that I'm going to be in the beach shitter with sand up to my ankles, already miserable. Barefooted. First off, there's something to do with that. It's probably a wet ice cream cone or something over on the floor of the entrance to the beach. Everything about that's gross to me. I would 10 times rather take my chance at a concert with in a dark field at a porta potty than a beach. Beaches are just gross.
And here's another wild card to that.
Sand fleas.
Yeah, but you probably have a wet ass too. And you're sliding around on the seat. I mean, it's not
that's what I said. The beaches are gross. I don't, people like them, but there's nothing clean or they're gross.
No,
and
I hate beaches.
Yeah, and so again, you're going to get sand. Now, I guess if you're saying you don't have to go, like if you're just visiting the beach and you haven't been down to the sand or to the ocean, but I'm picturing you're swimming in the ocean or you're on the beach and you have to walk up through the sand, spray your feet off before you go.
All said and done, I still say the porta potty is the worst choice.
But we're old enough to remember when the porta potty had no hand sanitizer pump with it. They have the hand sanitizer pump at least now, or sometimes they even have the little roundabout wash station. Yeah.
Do you want to hear the worst porta potty story? Here's Carissa's story.
Okay, I got to put this one up. The porta potty outside the Lincoln Memorial a few years ago was overflowing and running out all over the ground in the sweltering heat. Was the worst place I can think of. Not enough money to get me in that bad boy.
And now I will tell you, Lincoln Logs. Wah 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 wah. But sorry, I was where were we when we read that story? I'm going to go into the next one, right?
Well, I think Eric picked
I picked porta potty,
and I picked beach house.
When I was a day camp counselor in college, at a local YMCA, we had porta potties outside for day camp, and there was a 6-year-old little girl who had never been in a porta potty, so she did her business, but she thought the urinal was a sink, and the urinal cake was soap. I about didn't make it home that day. After that happened, when that story was told, I think I about fainted. I got the vapors.
So how do we decide here? Did the audience vote?
Well, Brady, I guess you're the.
I went porta potties worse.
Okay, so I got some comments here. Howard said one-on-one is best as far as at the significant other's house. Becky beach porta pisser. Now Todd wading out in the surf to make the deposit. The waves could be nature's power bidet.
Gotta feed the sharks.
There you go.
Guys.
Becky went in a porta potty before with a friend. She sat down, pitch black, dark. Deposits all over her.
That last sentence.
It was nasty, and she had to ride in my car, but made her get down to
Pantyware.
Pantyware.
That sounds like something that like from the 78 J.C. Penney catalog or something. The pantyware section.
Right by the drillies.
Pantyware.
Swimwear.
Dennis says porta potty.
Okay.
Agreed.
A house party, which is just a party at someone's house during a boisterous party,
right.
Or an aeroplane.
Oh, man. Again, I will go with the provided the house party has working sewage and such, or a septic system. Any unclean surfaces and things you probably could deal with. A plane.
It's small.
Yes.
It is questionable in cleanliness.
Yes.
It is cramped. It is loud.
Yeah.
And it vibrates in not good ways.
Loud could work in your favor, but
yeah. If you could drown out a 737, you got bigger problems than embarrassment. But the house party can be embarrassing if people have been consuming adult beverages and they're banging on the door. That could be bad,
disconcerting.
Yeah.
Or does the house party factor come into this? Is it factor in the same way the first choice did, as in there's more people?
Yeah,
to blame.
And you could definitely blame it on other people in a house full of imbibed people.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Well, there's only one place that I would rather be. There's only one place that I like less than beaches. Airplanes.
Yes.
And so I definitely think the airplane is the
would be the. I think everybody could agree with that one.
Yeah. I'm not wealthy enough to ride in first class, so there is zero redeeming factor to an airplane to me. None. Not one thing.
Pretty bad.
So it looks like across the board, for the audience that voted, Howard says airplane is worse. Gary says deplane. Carissa, airplane bathrooms are too small to change your mind in. Can't imagine that would be fun.
Nope.
Dennis says flying porta potty, which I think a porta potty is like a 5-bedroom mansion compared to an airplane.
Well, and that's true. And see, the worst, I've only during a 4-hour flight, I've done a number 1 in an airplane. But that got me thinking, why doing a number 2 in an airplane restroom. I mean, just standing in there doing the number one, you hit turbulence, it's all fire hose action. So you know that happens, and it's nobody's fault. It's not that they're being indiscriminate. They've been physically shaken. So
that's
no
all
way I'm
around
getting in
you when
there.
you're seated in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the poor ladies have to be seated all the time.
Yep. So, all right. On to the next one. A sporting event. What?
Whoa.
There is no place to go. You need to wherever you have to go, and there is nothing.
There's got to be something.
No, imagine just being in the position. We're talking about, facilities of poor condition, but this one is saying there's nothing.
Facilities.
What I like to call a little thing called Thursdays.
Thursdays.
No, but
Little
no,
inside
it's
joke there.
Gotcha.
So let's say that you're on the Verrazano Straits Bridge, and
In a traffic jam.
For real, there would some people have been feeling themselves in that position where they have to go is there, and there is no other there but that spot, be it a street, a bridge, the hallway. There's just things where that is not, so if that is your worst anxiety inducing, that would be the worst ever.
Yeah,
I would assume the sporting event has working plumbing and inside a stadium-like structure.
Can you imagine coming down with intestinal distress at halftime at a Bengals game?
No, that would be awful.
That would be awful. So that paints a picture. Or better yet, do you remember the Pepto-Bismol commercial where the guy, it shows him eating like 3 chili dogs and nachos with jalapenos, and he's doing the and it's a Pepto-Bismol commercial. So he goes to stand up, and the halftime gun goes off, and all of a sudden there's 30,000 people, and he's looking up the stairs in this long line to get to the restroom. That sums it up.
So was that the commercial where he turned green and started going in the
I consider these two very similar, though. I mean, you're basically describing not having anywhere to go. If you're halftime at a Bengals game, you're not getting to the restroom.
Just a commercial.
Yeah,
but you made it inside the hallowed halls, and you could go someplace where you could be prone to do your business. But it's at a sporting event, NBA game, football game, baseball game.
Yeah.
Hacky.
So Gary brings up a good point I didn't think about, and we've experienced this not too long ago. I mean, COVID has everything shut down. If you're out and about, the public restrooms are shut down. So you got nowhere to go, even though there are places there you can't get to them. Mm-hmm. So I mean, that's a valid situation.
That is an excellent point.
Howard asked if you are a participant in the sporting event or a spectator.
Spectator.
April, welcome,
April.
Hates to admit, been in a traffic jam on 275, got out, opened the doors, and went. Gotta go.
Oh, that I feel for you.
Why hasn't there been you have the portable camping toilets built right into car seats? I mean, most of them would never be used, so you wouldn't even know it. I mean, they would be...
Worse yet, most of them would never be cleaned out, I'm afraid.
Oh, yeah. I would think you would clean it out very quickly. I'm saying, it's out there.
Rebecca, good point. Lines for women's restrooms are always twice as long as men's, just saying.
That's true.
Brings up potty parity in the newer buildings, that there's twice as many women's restrooms as men's.
Yeah.
April, country girl can survive. Indeed.
And that rhymes with 275. That could be a new verse.
Country girl can survive.
So, sporting event or where there's just no place?
I mean, To me, I'm still not clear on this no place. So do you eventually just mess yourself? I mean, what? Like,
no.
There's got to be some place.
Well,
if you go,
maybe.
when you have to go, you're going.
Yes, but I mean, it's not a real restroom. If you're hiking on the Appalachian Trail and it hits you before the next stop, and you have
Like
to
a
go
cliffhanger,
behind,
just like a.
it could be,
Yeah.
or it could be on Fifth Avenue when you haven't made it to your subway.
Sound like something peaking or what? I got a cliffhanger.
You're just hanging out over the cliff, and
Oh, you mean literal?
yeah, a literal
I'm
cliffhanger.
laughing at both. That could go either way.
I guess I'll go to the sporting event. I think you've tried to sell the sporting event more than the other one. Like I said, to me, having no place to go means I eventually go the only place that I have, which is my pants.
Well, when I say no place to go, I'm not talking about butt cheeks on a seat. I mean, no place is you might have to do a cliffhanger. You might have to put your back up against the tree. You might have to put your back up against the wall.
Then all of those are better than a sporting event.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah, out in the woods by yourself,
maybe
with a tree.
On
Now, Fifth Avenue you mentioned, that would be bad, but the other ones you're mentioning, out in the woods, off a cliff.
I don't know. We got a bunch of sidebar conversations going on here that I have to bring light to here. Amy, welcome, Amy. Talking about a funnel that they take hiking, and then Carissa says no place is worse. Trash cans are all over at sporting events. So I guess
there you go.
There's a trash can.
Having to do it, conduct commerce at a sporting event in a trash can would be pretty horrific.
Well, I guess the sporting event you have usually the added fuel to the fire of eating greasy bad food. You know what I mean? So.
Kirsten says, "Hey, I'll go anywhere." Now, Kirsten, you may be late to the party here. This is strictly number 2.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Number 1 and number 2, different situations here. So
yeah,
maybe you need to rethink that "Hey, I'll go anywhere" thing. Just saying.
Yes, especially since I'm getting ready to travel with you this weekend, Kirsten. I might want to watch out.
So Carissa does say the funnel is only for number 1, and a funnel may be the next Olympic event.
Oh my god!
I would imagine.
Put the fun in funnel.
That'd be the men's funnel event. The funnel would be smaller because of more accuracy, or I don't know.
Are we still talking number 2?
No, we've gone off on number.
Oh, I was going to say. I don't know that that's true.
All right.
Howard says hanging your hiney over the guardrail is a real thing. Been there, done that.
Okay.
Story there.
So let's go on to the next one. I think we could all say nowhere to go is I think that's where.
Well, Todd didn't. Todd said
disagree.
yeah.
I think it depends. If I'm in the woods and there's nowhere to go, I would 10 times rather be. I would rather my audience be trees than my audience be a bunch of drunken Bengals fans.
Well, I guess you got nowhere to go. It would depends.
Yeah. Well, then you always have somewhere to go if.
Yeah, it depends.
Well, everything depends if you're brave enough.
Those are called certainlys.
Yes, sirree, Bobs.
Oh. All right. This next one's gonna be great. In a stall in a crowded public restroom, like the movie theater or a restaurant,
or Bengals game, like same scenario.
Well, I think this is a little bit less specific. This could be at the Cracker Barrel or
You'll never get no stalls. They're always.
I'm gonna tell you, there is never a time where you don't go in the Cracker Barrel restroom and someone's not in there conducting commerce. Never a time. Never.
Did somebody's what?
If someone's not conducting commerce, there's always someone conducting commerce in there.
All those starches immediately.
I was
going to
say
work.
no. I think it's the average age. I think it's just people. It's people working off their breakfast.
Gotta drink too much of the corn squeezins the night before.
Getting lightheaded.
All right.
Reading a book about how much the average price of gas was in 1937, and
anyway, so in a stall in a crowded bathroom or your workplace. No, Mr. Administrator, not your little private suite.
I was going to say, yeah, that's
I was going to say there are places to
the
go.
haves and the have-nots right there.
Now, this would even get more interest. No, never mind. I didn't mean to say that, but the workplace. One of the places that I used to work was a much, much older school building, and there was a restroom literally in a very small, barely bigger than like a maintenance closet, and behind the secretary's desk was a facility. It was a very small one with a thin wood door. And this poor secretary was subjected to such nasal batterings that they had to put up a sign that said, if you are going to go number 2, please use the other faculty facility.
Again, poopery. Like,
that wouldn't have helped. We're talking 3 feet from the door. Like if you walked in there, you were literally one good stride away from the secretary. And the gap on the door was this big. So there was no holding back the funk. It was
what architect designed such a thing?
a woman, no shame.
yeah.
I guess not.
I just had a conversation about this the other day with someone, but out of the 3 of us, gentlemen, I have probably experienced more place of work, business conducting apparati than you guys. And AK Steel, when I worked there for about a year and a half, years and years ago, lots of the men's bathrooms there had no doors on the stalls.
Sardinia Elementary.
And I think it might have been just an old factory, just the way factories were. I'd like to ask, my dad would probably, I don't know if GE was the same way, but here's the funny thing is men just didn't care. I mean, they would just sit there and have a conversation with you with no door. I don't know. It was weird. So I think it depends on where your place of work is what I'm getting at. If you have a door and if it's somewhat isolated, I don't think that it's near the same than if it's like you said, right by the secretary or.
I blame Sardinia Elementary for my inability to not have home court advantage. When you sat, I don't know if I ever sat in there, but I saw it happen. I can't.
Oh yeah, there's some poor kid with eyes like one of those jungle monkeys. Yeah. The nocturnal ones, and they're like that because everybody's coming in. Like those nocturnal things with the big red eyes.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah. Pants around their ankles.
Yeah, look at fear.
Other kids that go around there.
Heman lunchbox at their feet because they're going right after lunch.
And little did they know that they become stinkor. Yeah. So what do you think? A crowded public place like a theater or something like that,
Definitely.
where there's just several. Yeah.
I think place of work is too broad, too general. I mean, some people have private bathrooms. Some people have, if it's our work, then, but just place of work in general, it's not too bad.
Okay.
As long as you have dude wipes.
And got some comments. Rebecca, think about a desert might be prickly.
Ooh.
Cacti. A bar, says Becky. John says, take a 5-gallon bucket with you, some trash bags. You build your own porta potty. Gary said should be a one-way sign on that door that you were talking about, Brady.
Yeah.
Becky also says if you like, it depends on if you like your job. I've worked with some crappy people, so crap for 15 minutes or 8 hours.
Also company time.
But, okay. I am doing my audible on this one. A concert or festival. So it's kind of the same category as a sporting event, but there could be some subtle differences. Or this is where I'm putting in my play-in candidate. I'm taking out the one that was here because it's too similar. I'll go ahead and tell you. It's bus, airplane, potato, boring. We've been there.
Same difference.
So, I'm sorry, I lost my place. So I'm going with the friend or relative's house that you cannot put toilet paper in the toilet, where you've either been instructed or there is a sign that says, please do not flush toilet paper. Please place in the wastebasket.
First off, that's no friend of mine. I don't want a friend.
Oh, but one was. We're talking about old school.
One of my friends?
Yeah. One of our friends, his house that like it was an older farmhouse, and
I don't know if Todd was ever at that house.
Okay. So but yeah, it was one, there was no sign, but you were just instructed. But I've been to a gathering before that there was, it was an older house and a place that had a septic tank and not sewer. Mm-hmm. And so it had to be separate disposals.
Mm-hmm. Certain commerce requires more cleanup than other commerce.
Pardon me, sir. Certain commerce requires more receipts.
Receipts.
Tickets.
Yes.
Yes.
My uncle used to call them shit tickets. You could probably guess which uncle that was.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
God bless
Uncle Dennis.
Yeah. This was tough for me because all of these are tough because once you go bidet, you never go back, and there's no place that has a bidet. So
bidet or bidet. So what do you think, gents? Concert or festival, or that place, no flush zone?
No flush zone.
Yeah, I'm definitely, especially if certain events are happening. Yeah, that would just.
Concerts can be timed.
Yeah,
it can be if you go in between bands, it's a no. But if you go like in the middle of Aerosmith's encore, you pretty much have the bathroom to yourself.
Solo.
No, you don't want to go then either. That's when everybody's going. You want to go when you want to go again during the encore when everybody's watching the concert, so then you can have the bathroom to yourself.
That is
or they're
true.
Leaving, one of the two.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so that was the no flush zone one. That one. A bar, and this one is silly because this is no contest, or a Starbucks.
Oh, a bar.
Oh, because I have been in a Starbucks restroom for a quick, and they're immaculate.
See, I would already be pissed that I'm in Starbucks.
Well,
overpaying for.
Well, I don't drink coffee.
Less than stellar coffee.
Starbucks, but
yeah.
Well, you would have to think a place that sells coffee.
It's like Cracker Barrel. It's pretty much Cracker Barrel Junior. I mean, there's
right
stuff's going right through you.
Exactly.
Like grease through a goose.
Yeah.
Which is amazing that the place is immaculate because it's heavy use.
I've never been in an actual Starbucks. I've walked. I have ordered in Starbucks that were part of like a mall or a hotel, or a grocery store or something. But I've never been in an actual standalone brick and mortar Starbucks.
So yeah, bar definitely.
Okay.
That reminds me of a funny story. I won't mention any names, but years ago, Brady, you'll probably remember this. We were at a certain venue that had two stages, and we were we were playing the poor man's stage, the stage where the less than band was playing, and then one of our bandmates was conducting some commerce before the show, and a guy walked in, and if my memory serves me correct, he said something like he made some sort of comment or like or some sort of audible. And
they have.
Yes, and turns out it was.
First of all, you never do that. Never do that.
Turns out, but it was the lead singer of the other band playing, and so not only were we like second fiddle because we were on the small stage, basically opening for this band that
he's a legend, local legend.
Yeah, local legends, by the way, and
this person felt really embarrassed.
Yeah, it rhymes with venues, and so yeah. I'm not mentioning any names. I'm not mentioning names of which
rhyme with Grady.
Which Noble Hardyman it was, but it was in the Noble Hardyman days, and yeah, pretty funny stuff.
Yeah.
The good thing was the bar was empty, so if there was anybody was going to walk in, it had to be a performer in one of the other bands because
that's true.
Yeah.
So did we decide to go? The bar. Or
the bar.
I think we said the bar.
Okay. Yeah. And then the last matchup. I lost my place. Oh, I'm sorry. That was the last one. I'm sorry. That was the last one. That's why I was confused. It's like, wait a minute. All right. So moving quickly because I don't want to kind of ran long with this topic. I apologize. But so in the final, the next round, porta potty versus plane.
Porta potty.
Plane.
Plane is definitely worse.
I think plane's worse. Yeah.
Oh,
I think
okay.
Remember?
I see what you. Okay. Yeah. Plane.
Okay. No place to go, or your new significant other's place.
No place.
No place.
No place. Okay. And then let's go ahead and knock those two out. Plane or no place?
Plane.
I might lean plane. Yeah. Plane. Okay. So gas station. No. Excuse me. No flush place where you can't flush the toilet paper, or a crowded restaurant, theater, public bathroom.
No flush.
Well, one of those, the embarrassment is going to be from other people.
Yeah.
The no flush.
It could be from other people.
Well, no flush, the shame's on them. They're the one that has to go there and deal with it.
Yeah, but if somebody's following you and it looks like there's a Jackson Pollock in the garbage can. So I'm going no flush.
Yeah.
No, wait a minute. No.
Here's one thing we're not mentioning, though. Anymore, it's been this way for a few years now, but a lot of concerts that I go, and I go to a lot of concerts. Usually by halfway through, there's no more paper products in the bathroom at all. So that brings on a whole new different, that's a whole different animal. So you're right back to not having any toilet paper, no towels to wash your hands with or anything like that.
And that's a valid situation there. I mean, you walk in, there's no toilet paper.
Yeah. Might as well.
Okay.
And that's it, and that's the only facility available.
Yeah. So no flush versus bar to go to the finals.
No flush.
No flush.
So in the finals, ladies and gents, nowhere to go or nowhere to flush.
I'm going no flush. I was iffy on the nowhere to go to begin with. I was
I don't know.
Some of the scenarios you gave me just didn't cut the mustard.
or the cheese.
Yeah. The only one you mentioned was like the middle of Fifth Avenue. All the rest of them you mentioned wouldn't be that bad.
Okay.
So I'm going the
Well,
whatever
about
the other one was.
COVID situation though, you're out in a place
Vulnerable.
where there's multiple places that are restrooms, but you can't get into any of them.
Well, yeah, I'm not saying that there's not places that you, but I'm saying, again, the examples Brady gave. He mentioned the woods by a tree, a cliff.
Well,
he mentioned all these places that might actually be kind of fun to try out.
Okay, I guess I'm thinking of the worst ones. Like you're on vacation and you're walking down the streets of Vienna, and you have to go back a back alley and lean up against a 3-century-old building.
Or you're on vacation in an RV going through Atlanta.
Or that is true.
Or you're on Staten Road, and all you have is your hat to
So if you do not know what those two references mean, you need to go listen to our back episodes, and you will find it.
I got to be honest with you. My wife didn't look at me the same for weeks after that episode, so that was a story she didn't know.
She didn't say, honey, I still have the hat back.
Exactly, yeah. I remember commenting. Matter of fact, it just came up as a memory here recently from that episode, and like her comment was, "I'm learning so much about my husband." And, it wasn't a positive thing.
All right.
Did we come to a consensus there?
The no flush the toilet paper place, or no place.
I'm going with the no flush. No flush is very similar to saying no place to go. Like they're on the same.
Okay, so here's the thing. I don't know if I'm just speaking for myself here. The mere thought in my mind of there being a restroom nearby starts the process. So if I walk over to a door and I can't get in, the process has begun. So now I have to try to back up the process, which is not always easy.
It can be catastrophic.
It could. Yeah. So I would say no place to go.
You showed up at the bank trying to conduct commerce, and it was Sunday.
But there's always a place to go. I mean, there's always there's got to be a ditch nearby.
I guess I'm looking at the total desperation of having to do that. I'm thinking about kind of like what somebody else commented, like you're going down 275 during rush hour, and it's either your car in your pantalones or the ditch.
Your pantywear?
Yes. So that is just horrifying.
Well, but
and now the days of cell phones and people taking video, it's going to end up on some reel.
Yeah. But I guess what I'm saying is though, so what you're saying is if there is a toilet there, but you do not have permission to flush it, and there's no toilet paper, then how is that any different than no place to go?
No. You can flush.
You can flush
the deposit.
Now you're changing all the rules. You've been saying no flush.
No. Yes.
No flush of paper products.
Of paper products. Okay. Well then, that one's. I change all of my answers that I said no flush. I thought you meant you couldn't flush anything, like you just couldn't flush.
Ooh. No.
That's well then big deal. You just stay there and keep flushing.
Like Dumb and Dumber, you couldn't flush.
Yeah, that's what I thought you meant. Like you couldn't flush. You have to admit that changes everything. It doesn't? My way of you can't flush anything, or you can flush everything but paper doesn't change the whole scenario.
Oh, well, okay. I'm just saying, if it's at a family gathering where a lot of food has been ate, and
maybe some of that orange salad with the cheese, the shredded cheese on top. Yeah.
But see, here's the deal: it can be flushed, so it goes into a basket, but that basket is stacking up. What you flush goes away and is cleansed by the water, but the remnants of that.
No, that's what I'm saying. That changes everything. I was thinking you couldn't flush anything, which means whatever you deposited would be there waiting on the next person.
Ooh.
No different than a porta potty at that point.
Okay.
That's what I was thinking. That's why I'm saying all my answers changed now, because I didn't know you meant just you couldn't flush the paper.
Yeah.
If you can flush everything, I agree that the remnants are a problem, but not near as big a problem than if the evidence was there as well. By the way, musician friend of mine, great guy, Mr. Brad Berger. You should check him out on Facebook. He's an acoustic solo act, and he's also in a band called Abe's Lincoln. As far as I know, he's only listened to one episode of our podcast. And I remember he commented one night, guys, you may remember this, but he said, have I really listened to three guys talk about coleslaw for 30 minutes or something like that? We've talked about bowel movements for an hour. So
yes.
I don't think we've talked about the bowel movements. We've talked about the location and the discomfort level. I did, so, but yeah, we have.
Is there anything we won't talk about for a long period of time?
Well, probably not. See, as far as the no place to go, I keep going back and I have this picture in my mind. I don't know why this particular place is in. I'm thinking of being on the pavilion, for lack of a better word, at Newport on the Levee, and I'm going to 5 different doors, and they're all locked, and I've got to go. And like I said, every time I check a door, the process
you make the sound. You go,
and you've just had birthday cake ice cream from Cold Stone Creamery, and you know what's coming.
Right.
You know you're about to give birth to a sheet cake.
I mean, back in my younger days, that didn't happen. But I mean, at this point in my life, I mean, my brain is starting the process when I think the process is getting ready to be able to be done.
Is it kind of like when you hear the running water, you had to pee kind of thing?
Yes, just like that.
Okay, I have the ultimate. So any of the ones we've said, versus the facility at the Purdy Road Baseball Diamond, circa 1984. Hello.
So the wooden slab over the pit would give you splinters in places that could not know could be splintered.
Yet you could still see the action of the ball field, and like they could still see the action in the Porta John area.
It probably had not been cleaned since the Truman administration.
God, that was terrible.
And the hornets or the bees that would nest at the bottom, so you never know if that was coming up to the Hubble.
Yeah.
Yeah. And how that door did not have a quarter moon on it, I'm not sure, but it should have. I mean, it was the true definition of an outhouse.
You know, all of the dads that coached knothole baseball certainly could have gotten some fresh wood and some saws and some nails and made us a little better area to.
Yes.
Oh, and it was back in the outfield. So there was the walk of shame if you had to go.
Oh, yeah.
Because you had to walk all the way back there to the center field area.
Oh, it's terrible. And it wasn't
Home
even.
run indeed.
And it wasn't even like back hidden in the woods. It was like right there. No. It was like left center. It was like.
Yeah, it was like.
Pretty much the left fielder was.
Conduct your commerce in the open.
Yeah.
The illusion of trees protected you, but it's not.
I mean, people knew if you didn't exit that place in 30 seconds, they knew what you were doing in there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And then the pointing and the laughing.
Now,
and the wind would shift, and then the people in the outfield would be gagging.
Is my mind changing the story because it's been an awful thing to happen? I mean, I'm thinking there were like tears of newspapers there instead of the toilet paper. I mean, it was.
I remember the worst. I don't even think it seems like they just had like
Brown County Press.
It seems like they just had like bark, like just.
Just watch out for the poison ivy.
You had just like a universal like Boy Scout kerchief that was just there. That's what you used to like
that everybody used.
Yeah, it was.
That ball field was glorious, all except for that.
Yeah.
Yes, great memories.
Yeah, some people say we don't do the nostalgia enough. There you go, Brown County and Sardinia, folks. There's some for you.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Becky. Glad to have you subscribe. Enlightening. I like that word. Glad we made you laugh. All right. Yes, Purdy Road Outhouse, the ultimate worst place to go. All right. So, please visit our website.
I'm having troubles tonight.
Troubles.
Like I said, the backing up a boat syndrome. I'm not sure which direction to go. There we go.
Yes, www.playbyyourpodcast.com. Becky does have another question. Do we announce upcoming topics? No. Those are day of the show, play it by ear.
Yeah,
we don't even really know what.
As I say, Becky, we don't study. You might be able to tell we don't study. We don't really discuss. Every once in a while, today, for instance, we never even told each other what our topic's going to be. Sometimes we do tell each other what we're going to talk about, but we don't. There's no scripts. There's no planning, no studying.
Yeah. So
maybe we can make an exception for the 100th episode. Who knows? We might be able to.
Yeah, possible.
Yeah, or at least one. We could do like one or two episodes or topics.
Right. So yeah, playitbyyourpodcast.com. We will make reference of the website here again momentarily between topics 2 and 3. Yes, that's right, Gary. Upcoming topics are announced midway through the topic. That's right. That's about right.
Oh.
All right, Todd.
All right. So
you have the floor.
I believe, Eric, you started this way back in probably one of the first 20 episodes of the podcast. You stumbled across the Reddit or the subreddit. Am I the asshole?
Yes.
Otherwise known, or am I the buttle?
Buttle.
Am I the Anuse?
Anuse. And I at some point I kind of took it over. I think because Eric is usually the MC, the game host. So I typically do the Am I the Asshole? And I did one, I think, the very first episode of 2022. I was going to last episode, and then I stumbled across a new subreddit that I did last time. And so tonight I'm going to bring back Am I the Asshole? But before I do that, I think this is worth mentioning. I did find another new subreddit, and this is called TIFU. Today I bleeped up.
Okay.
So that's what the TIFU stands for. And much like Am I the Asshole, the titles that alone of these are funny sometimes. This is TIFU. Today I blanked up by yelling at a horny cat.
Yeah.
That's exactly why I when I saw this. So here we go. So we've got hundreds of feral stray cats living in the woods behind my house.
Brian
when I can, I trap, neuter, and release them.
What?
With rusty pliers. No, just kidding.
In a bottle of kerosene.
I think that's what was going on in that outhouse at the Purdy Road baseball field. The local place will give them their shots, spay, neuter them, and then ear tip them to mark them as fixed, all for $27. Pretty great deal. So at about 2 a.m., I was awoken by a horny cat howling outside my window. I chased it off with a can of pennies.
Oh,
The can of what?
Pennies!
like shaking the panties?
I guess. Everybody's got a can of pennies just sitting there waiting to scare off horny cats.
Get the penny jar, Bertha.
Don't you make me get the penny jar. I don't know why I thought that was so funny. Maybe people knew that. I didn't. Who knew? I fall back to sleep, and 15 minutes later, it wakes me up again. So I yell out my window to the cat, "If you don't shut your whore mouth right this instant, I will lock you up in a cage."
This guy.
Oh.
Referring to the traps I use. The cat runs off, and I get back to sleep. Well, about half hour ago, I had 4 cops in my driveway and a few angry state troopers pounding on my door. I explain what happened. They interview all 6 people in the house, and then they leave, satisfied that I was not a domestic abuser who locks his wife in a cage.
Oh my gosh!
I'm just very surprised there are 5 other people who would live with this guy.
What?
I don't know what's making me laugh harder. If it's the can of pennies or the fact that he's saying horrible things. Or the fact that the cops came.
I think it's here's what I think is funny. I think the pennies and the fact that this guy obviously cares about. I mean, like he's doing good by getting these cats, spayed, neutered. He's trying to cut down on the pop. He's listening to Bob Barker, but he's
Becky,
so
is that a
frustrated.
relative?
He's so frustrated that he yells out that if you don't shut your whore mouth. It's just funny. All right. Anyway, so that stay tuned for that topic at some point, gentlemen.
See, I'm with Gary. Get a new hobby.
All right. So, without further ado, am I the asshole? Yes. For attending my daughter's gender reveal for her lizard. This is literally really stupid, but she's really upset about it. So my 48 years old daughter, 23, has a blue-tongued skink who she heavily adores. She jokingly refers to it as her daughter. I found it weird, but she says it's because it's the closest thing she's had to a child. She'd have to a child, and she feels a strong emotional bond similar to a child. She's decided to remain child-free for multiple reasons, and I have been very supportive of this decision. Well, she recently took her skink to the vet for a checkup, and she was excited to find out her skink's gender. Afterwards, I got a text asking if I'd come to her gender reveal party she was having. She explained it was just a small get-together with cake and food for her friends she hasn't seen in a while, with the gender reveal being mostly a joke and a way to make fun of real gender reveals. Well, I didn't come. I didn't see a point. It's just a lizard, and I'm a busy person. She later called me and expressed she was kind of sad I didn't come because it'd been a while since I'd seen her, but she understood I was busy. I told her she couldn't actually expect me to come to a gender reveal for a lizard. She said that it wasn't a real gender reveal, that was more of a joke, and it was really just a small gathering to catch up. I told her if that was the case, she should have just called it a gathering because I'm not coming to a gender reveal unless it's for a real granddaughter. She got quiet for a minute and then turned my words around, claiming I wasn't supportive of her decision to be child-free. I told her she can't possibly expect me to treat a lizard as a granddaughter. She said she didn't expect me to, but it was clear I didn't respect her bond with her lizard and her decision. And she just wanted to see me, and my reason for coming was hurtful. Or not coming was hurtful. I told her she was being ridiculous over a lizard. She claimed it wasn't over the lizard and it was a gathering and not even centered around the lizard. But I stick by what I said. It's ridiculous to have a gender reveal for a lizard. She hung up, and I got a message from her best friend about how I'm an asshole for treating her that way, but I don't think I'm the asshole for not wanting to go to a party for a lizard.
So we just kind of had it slipped in there in the story that I guess the lizard was a female. Right?
I've seen Jurassic Park. I know how that is. All right. First off,
by the way, this is a mom and a daughter. Just I don't know that doesn't
okay.
Not that matters, but I realized that for whatever reason I was thinking the whole time it was a dad and a daughter.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too. I don't think he's an Anus.
She.
Excuse me. Yes, I'm still stuck on that. But here's the thing. I mean, we could all be goofs, and we've done goofy things, for gatherings, But I'm going to go out on a limb here. I don't think this girl with the skink, she might have some issues. I'm thinking that there might be something up. There's more to this than meets the eye.
This is definitely deeper than a skink.
Yes,
I mean this is
even a blue-tongued skink.
This isn't just skink deep. And it even says here, I forgot to read, but it says the poster, the person who posted, she says, my issue is that she said the party was a gender reveal. If she had just called it a party, I would have come. But calling it a gender reveal makes it sound like it's for the lizard, and I'm not going to that, even if it's a quote-unquote joke. And then it says, I don't know why it matters, but the skink is a girl, which is why I said I'm not coming to a gender reveal unless it's for a real granddaughter. So, Eric, I think that's what you were alluding to there.
Wincing
Right.
at it.
I think there's deeper family problems here. The girl thinks that her mom is holds it against her because she doesn't want to have children. This is bigger than a skink.
Yeah. And
so I wonder if the daughter just has an odd sense of humor. Like she thinks her mother should have known it was just a joke because that's just her off sense of humor.
yeah, like I said, this situation is not existing in a vacuum. This isn't the only. I get the feeling I feel like I can't. Me commenting on the story is kind of like maybe like a sea mammal commenting on country music. I don't feel like I know what's really going on here.
I don't know. I don't often read into the comments and stuff, but I think this is definitely. I think we may be a little too old in Brown County to really get this, because like the commenters are just destroying this lady. I mean, like they're
Really,
yeah, they're making fun of her. Like it says, why would you call it a murder mystery party if no one is actually being murdered? I'm not coming. You know, like they're relating it to that, and I don't think I think it's apples.
No, that's a non sequitur. That's not what it's about.
Yeah, and there's like people like this person says, "Get over yourself, mom, because you do not deserve that title any longer." I mean, like, so again, people, gender reveal part, like that's pretty big now. Kind of like the she said yes to the dress and the promposals and stuff like that. But I think there has to be a little bit of understanding with our generation that we didn't do that. So like, it goes both ways.
Here's the thing. If this is a deeper issue where mom has been projecting, like if she's wanting to impose her wanting a grandchild on the daughter, and it's much more about it than this skink, in all honesty. With the information I've got to go on without digging too deep or without thinking, I'm going to say not the news. But the more I think about it, she might. This mom has probably been a jerk to the daughter before. I don't know. So I'm still leading not the news.
It sounds to me like it also sounds to me like they have the same exact sense of humor. Yet they're using the daughter's sense of humor as an excuse to knock the mom. It sounds like the daughter's saying, "Hi, come to my skink gender." And the mom's like, "I'm not going to a skink. I'm not going to a lizard party." It's like it kind of sounds like they're very similar. But I can tell you right now, Pops, if you're listening, if I wanted you to come and have a gender reveal party for my dog, would you come? The answer is no. Like I think it's a generational thing. It's a demographic, maybe. I just can't see a lot of people being excited about coming to a lizard gender reveal party. I personally think the daughter. I don't think any of them are the asshole so much. I think the daughter is making mountain out of a molehill.
So the audience has some comments. Becky says, "Okay, lizard issue, just weird, but it's American. People are so weird, indeed." Jim, welcome. Yes, you're the a-hole for making daughter feel inadequate for not wanting a child, which I think that could be the underlying issue.
Yeah, I really think that's where.
While I'll agree with that, there was nothing that I read that sounded like the mom was making I didn't hear anything where the mom was saying that. The only time she was forced to say it is when the daughter's like mad at her for not coming to her, and she's like, "Hey, if it would have been a human baby, I would have been there." Like, I don't see anything in here that says the mom is making her feel inadequate. Although I do believe that's how she feels.
Yeah, and I'm not saying the mom is an asshole.
Yeah,
but I think the daughter has some issues there with that.
Yeah,
as far as the fertility thing. Joey, and Joey's comment.
We're not going to read this one, but it is brilliant.
Joey, June 5th.
Yes.
June 5th. Come on down,
Mount Orb, Ohio. Sons of Toil.
Sons of Toil Brewing.
Look it up
good
beer.
Yeah, come on down. We'll be live. Howard says, just silly. Sounds like she's way too into her lizard. Does the daughter have a husband/boyfriend? I don't guess the thing said anything about that, did it?
No, it did not.
It didn't.
Yeah, it didn't.
I just thought of something I said, and I didn't mean to, but I got a comment on it. Sorry, where I said, when I said knowing about as much about it as sea mammals know about country music, unless it was Waylon Jennings. Oh,
it sounds to me like if I can, you know, it sounds to me like the daughter has some issues with not having a child, and she's acting as if the mom has an issue with her not having a child. And again, she could be right, but there's nothing in what I read that says the mom is ridiculing her for not having a real child, anything like that. There's no evidence there.
Yeah.
As a mom, not an asshole.
Yeah, mom, not an asshole. All right. Brady, I thought you might like this one when I saw the title.
Okay.
Well, two of us, but not that it's just completely, something Eric wouldn't be interested in. But it says, am I the asshole for buying a $50,000 guitar for $4,000 and refusing to sell it back when the buyer found out the real value? This happened a while back. My wife and I still talk about it every once in a while. She's on my side, and most of our friends and family are. However, when it happened, it was like World War III between us and her coworkers and others. Well, first off, why do you care what her coworkers and others? That's right off the bat. I'm thinking, what do you care if her coworkers and others didn't approve? Anyway, here we go. I've been playing the guitar for 22 years. I know guitar values and whatnot very well. I'm very into the guitar market. In my wife's old company, she was hanging out with coworkers one day after work, and she mentioned that I play guitar. A coworker who I guess is very popular at work said that his dad passed away, and he was selling his dad's things. His dad had a guitar and asked my wife if I'd be interested in it. My wife texted me, and I said to have him send me the info on the guitar and the price. The next day, he texted me the picks and price. It was a 1952 Telecaster in mint condition. He had the original receipts, which was crazy. That's how I knew the date. I asked what he wanted for it, and he said he looked up Telecasters online, and he thinks $4,000 is fair. I texted back, I'll take it for $4,000, and went to pick it up. The guitar had no sentimental value to him at all. Here's the issue at hand. The guitar is worth approximately $50,000, depending on the buyer, and I knew it. When I got the guitar, I told my wife the price and what it was worth. She was floored. Fast forward 2 weeks, her coworkers tell my wife he just found out what the guitar was actually worth from a family friend and wanted it back. She said, well, he really likes the guitar, and he knew it was worth $50,000, which is why he was floored you offered it to him for $4,000. He really likes it, and I doubt he'll sell it back, but you can ask. Probably not the smartest thing for her to say, but she was caught off guard, and it's not her fault or problem. He contacted me and asked to buy it back, and I said that it's not for sale. He then said I scammed him, and he was going to sue me and take my wife to HR for being a part of the scam, which was nuts, but he actually did contact HR. They were cool about it and said it's not their problem. It's between him and me. Over the next few months, he made things very uncomfortable for my wife at work. He would bug her constantly about it. She eventually had to go to HR for harassment, and they actually let him go. She complained twice, and he was warned it didn't stop. He contacted me several times about it, so I got a restraining order for harassment, too. I blocked him. I haven't heard from him in about a year. Am I the asshole? I'll let you gentlemen tackle it first.
Sounds like buyer beware to me.
My first thought is, if the person did not know it was a $4,000 guitar, or did not know that it was $50,000 and offered $4,000, me personally, knowing that going in, I don't think I could in good conscience do it, but that's me. But the guy trying to say, like, making everybody's life miserable because he willingly sold the $4,000 guitar or the $50,000 guitar for $4,000, and did that willingly. It's kind of on him. But I will say, if the guy knew about it ahead of time, it's kind of shifty.
Yeah.
All right. So you go to a yard sale, and they have an item there that you know is worth $5,000 and they have $50 on it. You're telling me you say, I'm not going to buy this for $50. It's worth $5,000. I'm going to go on. I don't buy that. I don't know that anybody will. I wouldn't. I'm just going to be honest with you.
I think there's maybe it's because I'm a guitar person. Maybe that's why I'm like, you know what I mean? It's like hitting a little bit harder.
Yeah, I mean, I have a dozen guitars. It's not.
Yeah.
Bottom line is, I see what you're saying, but again, let's say you're going to buy a used car and it's worth more than what. I don't think anybody's going to say, I tell you what, you're asking $4,000, I'll give you $8,000. I don't know that anybody would actually do that.
You're right.
Most of the time, it probably wouldn't even come back up either. You know what I mean? I can't think of too many people that would call you back and say, hey, I just sold you that. And there was a little edit thing that said like there was that was explaining the no sentimental value. It says that the guy and his dad weren't close. It wasn't like you know what I mean. So I think that played into it as well. Who would have been like really sentimental, and like the dad? I think, but since it was basically a stranger to him, and the way I look at it is he's got $4,000 more than what he had.
True,
but that's just me.
Yeah,
Eric,
I think you've swung me back.
That wasn't my intent. I just know I don't think I would have. I mean, anybody's goal to buy something is to get it for the best deal they can.
True.
Well, I mean, I think there are two things at play here. Is it, what is considered good salesmanship or what is considered ethical? Mm-hmm. I don't know that it's unethical. Probably good salesmanship. Is it rude? Maybe.
Yeah, a little bit.
My belief has always been that you can't put, it's easy. And he could say, hey, the guitar's worth $50,000. That doesn't mean someone would give him $50,000 for it. Something is worth what someone would give you for it. That's the value of something. Okay, so let's just say he said, no, I'm not selling this guitar for less than $50,000. He would likely be holding onto a guitar for his entire life. So I can say that guitar's worth $50,000 all I want, but that doesn't mean anyone at all is going to pay $50,000 for it.
That would have to go to like a Sotheby's auction or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, and even that. I mean, an auction it might go for $1,500. You know what I'm saying? Like,
but I mean,
the price, the value of anything is only what somebody's willing to give. You can say,
I was going to say,
yeah,
the market determines the price.
Yeah.
Only one person can be a market. If you're willing to pay that, then so be it. But
I don't think with that being said, I don't think the other guy was an asshole to at first try to say, hey, I made a mistake. Is there any way we can? But once it was made clear that he had no right to go and harass the wife, and he lost his job over it. I mean, and again, this is something that he had sitting in his house collecting dust, and he lost his job and stuff over it. So,
yeah.
All right. So we agree that no one's the asshole, the guy was the asshole when he started harassing the wife at work.
Yeah. That's where you entered asshole territory there.
Yeah.
But yeah, the original deal, nobody's an asshole.
And there's a lesson there. Know what you have.
Yep.
I mean, the guy that bought the guitar did research and found out. The guy that had the guitar could have done the same research.
Right.
That is true. It is true.
And that's kind of what Jim says here. Hell no, the seller should have known. Had a friend buy a Princeton Reverb pre-CBS for $45 in a yard sale.
Nice. So hand-wired Princeton Reverb, I mean, I don't know the value, but way higher than $45. I mean,
yeah.
All right. Gary says, why did he take the first offer? Could have gotten $3,500 possibly. David, welcome, David. Not shifty at all, he says. Becky says, the deal's a deal, family or not. However, I would have verified a few times, asked if he did research. If he said yes, then all good. With a stranger, nope, fair game. Mm-hmm. I think there probably is a little difference there, too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Sometimes family can hammer you more than a stranger. Are you talking about us, Joey? Coming up on camera to see this is my real face.
Yeah. Is he talking about the 100th episode?
Yeah.
It's
we would have got away with it if it wasn't for you meddling Joeys.
Right. He says it's 3 hours and 45 minutes. Well, you had a little day trip, Joey.
Hey, Joey, there's a hotel right there near it.
That's right.
In Mount Orab, Ohio.
Mm-hmm.
Downtown Mount Orab, Ohio.
Let's see, Becky also says, example, I bought a bunch of Barbies for $125 in boxes. Knew one was worth $12,000. It was a stranger. I gave them $500 and
Left after it was loaded?
After it was loaded. Yep.
There you go.
So you kind of you did more than you needed to do there.
Yeah. All right. How about I'll do one more, and we'll call it a night. Am I the asshole for telling my parents I won't drive my brother to school unless he's more hygienic because his smell literally makes me sick? I'm a high school senior and my brother is a high school freshman. I have a car that I bought with money I'd saved from work, and I pay my own gas. Wow. This was 2 years ago. He may not be saying that now. However, my parents pay my car insurance, so they said that driving is a privilege for me, not a right. They said I need to drive my brother to school even though there's a bus, and the problem is that I get motion sick easily. Even when I'm driving. Too much driving makes me vomit, and bad smells when I'm in a car make me feel like I'm going to vomit. Dude.
Glad he didn't know us.
I'm not exaggerating. I've always been like this. As a kid, my family couldn't go on vacation without me puking at least once. I always make sure I knew where my barf bag is on a. I always make sure I know where my barf bag is on a plane. I always used to take motion sickness pills, but I'm not allowed when I'm driving because they make you tired. Anyway, I can handle the drive to school on my own fine, but when my brother's with me, I literally feel so sick because of his BO. Even when the window's open on my side. My friend told me I should make a checklist of what my brother needs to do before getting in my car in the morning. Have a shower with shampoo and soap, brush his teeth, put on deodorant, wear clean clothing, including underwear and socks, and remember to use shoe antifungal spray. Right now, he doesn't do that. He likes to sleep into the last minute, skip showers most days, pick clothes up off the floor to wear, skip brushing his teeth, etc. So I did that. And I told my mom and dad that I couldn't do it anymore unless my brother had done the hygiene list in the morning. Either they could check it or I would. And they blew up at me saying that I was being nasty and humiliating, that if I wouldn't drive my brother, I couldn't drive. And I said, fine, I'll go back to riding my bicycle to school or getting a ride for my friend. And that caused a big fight because I guess they were not expecting me to call their bluff and give up driving. Am I the asshole for what I did?
So there must be a symphony of smells going on here.
A cacophony of funk.
Nice.
Now I'm here to tell you, not personally speaking, but having experienced it, all it takes is a pair of shoes to stinkify a whole house. So if you add all these things together, there truly could be an awful, awful stench. But this kid goes to school. I guess he doesn't care that he smells at school.
See, I'm gonna opine here. I think the parents are missing the boat where they said, "Well, it's humiliating." Sorry, him going to school that way is going to be humiliating.
Yeah.
So letting him go to school smelling like a bag of feces and rotten fruit is not that he is going to be humiliated. Others are going to avoid him. He's going to be shunned socially.
Or a bag of fish head and rotten fruit.
I think there's something else here too, and I'm gonna choose my words carefully for once.
Once.
All right, there's something to be said here about there's an issue here with the parents not wanting to admit that their
kid's foul.
Their kid, exactly. And I think that's the bigger issue here. Because once you admit there's a problem, it's human nature to want a solution to the problem. And I think that's what it is. I don't think they're admitting there's a problem. I don't think they're saying, you know what, we understand you're heaving out the window. He's rank. He's nasty. I mean, we go to him all the time about showering. We just don't care. You're going to deal with it. That's not what's happening here. This is you're being mean to your brother.
Yes.
And if they're saying that he's being mean to his brother, then they feel like they're being mean if they put their foot down and say, look, get your ass in the shower, put deodorant on, wear clean clothes. You know what I'm saying? There's also something to be said here about why he's wearing dirty clothes. So, like, is it a matter of are they doing? And I'm not saying that they're teenagers. I mean, obviously they're old enough to do their own laundry, but some responsibility lies on the parent here. Do you? I mean, you guys are all in education. I mean, do you agree here that if I'm sending my especially that age, if I'm sending my kid to school every day that bad, where it's literally making his brother vomit, there's some responsibility on my part too. Without even knowing their situation, there's responsibility on the parent's part.
I wonder if there's more deep-seated issues at play with the younger brother. Depression and such.
Could be.
Yeah.
Could be. But bottom line, there's being some kid gloves used. There's being some denial. There's denial factoring in here and lack of responsibility.
I see Jim nails it here. Just being a good brother, little bro doesn't want to be known as B.O. boy.
Exactly.
Could be a situation where his high school career has already been altered because of all this, and his older brother's just trying to.
If you can't count on your older brother to say, "Dude, you stink. You need to take better care of yourself," then it's not. I can tell you right now, it's not going to be any easier coming from anyone else.
No.
No. So, anywho, not the asshole.
Right, and Jim brings up another point. Parents may leave before the kids get up. So true. Maybe totally on the but he does mention in the whole writing there that parents could check it or he could check it if brother would do all these things before getting into the car. So tends to make me think someone else is at home besides the older brother.
Yeah. Plus, I tend to think no matter when the parents leave, it's your responsibility when your kids are under 18 years old to make sure that they are healthy, that make sure they are kempt somewhat. Yes. I mean, teenagers are teenagers. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I mean, like, I'm not saying that every time my kid leaves the house, he's up to snuff with his with his hygiene, but if it's so bad that it's like making people vomit, the parents have to know about it too. There has to be some denial going on there.
Yes. And, the whole situation of, the brother has a car, and I don't know any of this. It leads me to believe it's a financial issue.
Yeah, there's no evidence there to say. I mean, it could be. There's lots of unknowns.
Yeah. So I say brother, not an asshole.
It's probably the first time we've ever had not the asshole, although, we haven't had one asshole yet.
Correct.
All right.
Thank you very much, Todd. Okay. Looking at our website. If you would like to be a member of our podcast, you can visit our website, www.playbyyourpodcast.com.
Sorry.
What you see at the top of every page is our audio feeds, our video feeds, and our calendar. There in our video feed, there you see our last episode 92 and the poster for that episode. The Duff Nut, complete with the anus.
The protracted Jonathan.
Yes. But if you go to that membership support page and you scroll on down, you can see our Buy Me a Coffee link here at the bottom of the page. You click on that link, it goes to our crowdsourcing website, buymeacoffee.com, and you can become a member of our website and go through all the steps there. So there's our list of Hall of Famers. Allison is in the room with us, as well as Savannah. I believe that's the only two Hall of Famers we have with us this evening. But we appreciate all of the people who support us.
Yes, sir.
And speaking of support, real quickly again, and we'll mention it at the end of the show as well. People come and go, but we are doing our 100th episode June 5th, 5 to 8 p.m. in front of a live audience at Sons of Toil Brewing, and we're kind of deciding how that's going to look. But hope you can make it out. No charge for tickets or anything like that. Come on out, have a good time with us, celebrate our 100th episode.
There will be cake.
Yes.
There will be audience participation. And one thing we didn't mention, we are pretty sure there will be a Q&A type.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not that we feel like we are people who anyone should be rushing out to ask questions. I mean, because you see what you'll get. You have like
questions, all right.
You have 100 episodes to see what you'll get if you ask us a question. But we want to include. I think Eric, you pointed out very nicely that, you know, when we decided to take this thing onto Facebook Live and include the audience and read the audience, and you know, I know that some people, it might be frustrating if you have a comment and we don't read it. We can't get to all of them, but we do our best to make sure
we don't see all of them until later.
Sometimes we don't see all of them until later, and
Right.
But it definitely does. It added a different dynamic, I think, to the podcast. So we definitely want everyone to come out and celebrate with us, even if you live in India.
Yes.
We want you to. We want you to,
for real.
Yes, I mean,
If
anyone.
you are one of our obviously hundreds of listeners in India on the Ghana Network, we would love to hear from you. For real, we would really love to hear from you.
We will pay for your hotel room for the night if you come and
Definitely.
watch our live.
We will put you up.
Yes.
Yes.
We won't put you down. We will put you up. That's a good slogan. That should be our
Nice.
thing.
Gonna go on the back of a T-shirt.
Yeah. And Eric, I think I hope it's all right to say this as well, but if any one of our, like, you know, if you're a longtime listener, if you'd be interested in like helping out anyway for the 100th, you know what I'm saying? Like if you have ideas, if you want to kind of be a part of it, we are not, this is not a done deal.
Yeah, we had talked about putting some surveys out as to what people may want to hear or see that particular evening. So you may keep an eye out for that as well.
Yeah.
If you're on our email list there that you can get on our website, we may email some of those things out. So get on the list and keep in contact.
Leave us a voicemail about what
Yes.
Yeah.
voice
your
message.
idea is.
All right.
Game time.
Game time.
Same time.
Executive decision, Brady. I know we talked. I don't think Todd was there when we were talking about it. Ducking High is the game. All right. So to review, it's been a while since we played Ducking High. I'm going to give a scenario. And it will be the audience's job to vote as to which of our co-hosts gives the best answer to our scenario. So audience, be ready to vote. We are going to play best out of first to three. Okay. So in the interest of time here. First to three. All right. So it's not a case of who goes first or whatever. Well, it is a case of who goes first, is who gives first answer. But
we draw lots.
We did draw lots. Todd, you get to go first.
Yes.
All right.
I always get the odd line.
All right, Todd, describe the craziest dream you've ever had. Craziest wins. Audience vote.
Pitch plush.
I think I already know what Brady's going to say.
Yep.
Is this okay? Real quick, does this have to be a true dream?
A dream you've had.
Okay, that's what I mean. Like I'm not making. This isn't like a
No, this
contest to
is
see.
not
Okay.
No, it's not a made-up dream, and a dream you've actually had.
All right. So this is going to be very obscure. So I'm probably going ahead and handing Brady the win on this one. But damn it, it's worth it. So if anyone ever enjoyed the 1980s horror flicks Phantasm, Tallman was the baddie.
Yeah.
I better speak more clearly. Tall Man was the baddie. And he was literally a tall man. an old tall man, which, back then you could have an old person as being scary. Now the ageism and stuff like that, people would have a problem with
And
that.
he had a skullet too, didn't he?
Yeah, he had a skullet. And he was tall and thin, and he wore a suit, and he had, in the movie, he had these little balls. They were bigger balls, but they had these like blades on them, and he would throw these bladed balls out, and they would kill you. So anyway, my dream was this, and this is how vivid. I mean, I'm probably, I would say, 10, 9, and I had a dream that I was in my house on Staten Road, 7, and I'm in my bedroom, and I hear we had a metal, one of those metal porch swings on our porch. Good place for it, and right. I heard it. It had just a certain sound when it would rock. You would hear it, and I heard that, and so I hear it, and I'm like, the wind's blowing it, and then I'm like, there's no wind blowing, so it can't be the wind blowing it. So I get up, and I sneak down my hallway, and I look out, and we had a big picture window. You guys remember the big window we had on the porch there, and I see the silhouette. The hind silhouette of Tallman sitting on our porch swing. And he is just rocking, which...
He's a swinging.
I'm going to be honest with you. Swing. Old people just rocking creeped me out when I was a kid.
So I had some weird phobias.
So the fact that Tallman... And so Tallman was, a really tall, gaunt... thin gentleman who wore a black suit, and so I can see out of the window, and I can see him. He's looking away, and he's rocking, and I think to myself, "Oh shit, there's Tallman." And then, and I'm not making this up. You can ask Celia. I've told this story many times. I look over and I see that the front door is unlocked, and at that point, time stood still. And it was a race to get to the front door and lock it before Tallman could come in the house.
And throw a bladed ball at you.
And I kid you not, I felt like I got the jump on Tallman because he was still just sitting there rocking back and forth, looking straight ahead across to the Menry's house.
Uh-huh.
And as I reach for the door, I see the knob in slow motion open. The door swings open real fast. Tallman walks in to my foyer. And I woke up. There's my dream. My phantasm Tallman bladed ball. But I never got hit by the bladed ball.
That's a good thing.
I think it was more of a fear of tall, old people. Exactly, Carissa.
Carissa says... Old guy with balls that will kill you. Yeah. Question mark. That's
it's hard to believe that I eventually worked in a nursing home for a while.
Did that nursing home have a porch swing?
Did it have a Tallman?
It had plenty of Tallman.
Shall I fire away?
Go ahead, Brady.
Okay. My weirdest dream ever was I was in high school when this dream happened, and I walked in to my mom and dad's house, the house I grew up, into the kitchen, and I had turned in to a human liver with my head on the end of it, and I was crawling through the house going, "Help, help, I'm a liver, I'm a liver." And my mom's like, "Oh, you'll just be fine." But I turned into a liver with my head on the end of it.
For no apparent reason.
I got a part 2 of this dream.
Yeah.
So Linda, dear Mrs. Liming, said, "No, son, you're not a liver. You're a spleen." And then you both look over and Eric vomits all over himself.
Yes, Amy, I said a liver. Like, this is my same description I've given every time I tell this story. I looked like a human liver that's in the health book, like an actual human liver. My head was on the end of it, like I was some kind of weird caterpillar liver thing. And I was crawling through the house, and I was a giant liver with my head on the end of it.
My Tallman can't beat that. My dream was realistic, damn it. I think Tallman actually was on my porch.
Throwing his plated.
Howard. Brady is a liver, not a fighter.
But
So Brady, can I ask you a question? Was this right after watching Weird Science when Chet or whatever turns into the whatever that thing was in the kitchen?
I can't say that that's impossible, but I can tell you that this probably has a lot to do with it. That I ate Skyline late. My dad had brought home Skyline on his way back from work, from GE, and and I ate it, and then went to sleep, and it must have been one of the 18 spices and special recipe fixins that gave me hallucinations. But it's just so weird and random. But the strangest thing is, I looked it up in a dream dictionary and I found out what it was about.
What was it about?
They said if you dream of liver, whether you're the liver or you dream of liver, that you have a fear of being with somebody in your company that will be mean to you. Whatever that means.
That's it. That's interesting.
Yep.
Yeah. What if you have a dream of liverwurst? It just means your parents ate gross ass food when you were growing up.
No, the mean person was even worse.
Yeah.
Worst.
Yes.
So
were you walking, hopping? How does a liver get
crawling?
about?
Like seriously,
inching?
Like a slug? Yeah, like that's it. Like an inchworm. Like yeah.
Yeah.
You know, like an amoeba would go, like the green things in the Herculoids cartoon. Where you like go,
Amy, I agree. This apparently Brady found some other people like him that dreamt of liver.
There are enough people in the world that dreamt of liver and livers.
Well, with that being said,
put into a dream catalog or encyclopedia.
I can't imagine I'm the only one that ever dreamt of Tallman, though.
Oh no, there's probably a lot of people that's
Yeah. I mean,
Tallman
was basically reimagined in Poltergeist 2 with the old preacher that at the door, the let me in. That whole character. So
okay, so Gary says the Deliverance versus Fantodism. He votes Tallman. Tallman. Okay, audience vote. Who has the craziest dream? Todd and his Phantasm Tallman dream, or
we
Brady
have given you a rich palette to pick from,
and his liver. Him turning into a human liver.
Brady, how come I have been to probably more than I can count Halloween bashes? Why have you never dressed up as a liver?
I riddle you this, Batman. Where can one find a liver costume?
You make
because
it yourself.
I would totally be down with it.
You make it out of paper mache and mud.
I'll end up looking like Scout in the To Kill a Mockingbird movie when she's a ham.
All right. Got one vote for Tallman. Do I have any other votes?
I think we scared everybody off.
There's still 12 people in the room, I guess.
Okay.
Howard says Brady gave us the liverwurst story.
That's actually...
vote for...
There's a poster. We discussed this dream one other time way back when, and I actually photoshopped my head on a liver for the...
Savannah says Brady. So I think we will go with Brady on that point.
I would vote Brady, although mine was scarier.
Oh, yeah.
Brady's was funny.
Stupid.
We'll say the rules were craziest wins.
Yes, so. Craziest, definitely. But like I said, I think it would have been funnier had he dreamt he was a spleen, and then you had like uncontrollable vomiting in the background, Eric.
Vomiting.
Weak knees.
You would have came into the house as a pancreas, and we would have like had most of the endocrine system and the.
Well, see, and Dennis beat me to it. I just said, now Brady had said, "Help! I'm a liver. I need onions."
Yes.
Oh,
that would have been better too.
Or Brady had said, "Help! I'm chicken livers. Put me on your hook and catch a catfish."
Catfish. Carissa Brady's liver is pretty disturbing indeed.
Definitely.
Yeah.
John, all Todd has been talking about me too much. But
Are you a Tallman, John?
Tallman.
A Tallman and an Oldman.
Tallman who sits in the porch swinging rocks.
Oh,
all right.
Vivid dream.
1-0 Brady. All right. Brady,
See?
you go first here.
See?
Which board game would be the most fun to play if it were life size?
Gosh, so many choices. I could think of one that would be excellent and one that'd be scary as heck and pretty disturbing, like a liver dream. But I think the best one would have to be, I'm going to say Candyland.
Candyland.
So you could just, pick off the bushes and get candy and pick it and, play on candy slides and jump in the chocolate fountain and all that kind of stuff.
Todd?
What if we agree? That's literally what I was going to say. That's one thing we haven't written into this game is if we both were thinking the same thing. It means I have to come up with one that would not be my pick.
Well, so you
I have a second pick that I'd be.
Got to sell it.
All right. I am going to say Mousetrap. And you obviously are life size, but the mouses,
the meese,
would they be average mouse size or would they be like bigger?
Well, you're the mice. Like
that's true. But are you a human sized mouse? Or are you a regular sized mouse?
I just think you're a person in the game.
Do all your human characteristics disappear and you turn into a mouse? So
yeah, what about like Brady's dream? Would you be a mouse with your face on it?
That's what I'm picturing. I'm picturing like I'll even give you this a tweener. You're in between human size and mouse size. So you're essentially a
weeman.
3'8".
A weeman.
Yes. Yeah. Not man nor mouse. You're a modant.
A modant. A mandant.
A humouse.
Yeah. I'm talking myself into this. I'm talking myself into this. You're a whatever it is. You're hiding from Richard Gere.
Urban legend.
I've probably made more Richard Gere jokes on this podcast than anyone else.
It's been a while.
I'm going with Mousetrap. I think Mousetrap, if it were life size, would be pretty interesting.
It would just be like walking around a Rube Goldberg thing.
Yeah. I mean, it'd be scary yet interesting.
Yeah.
Rats would have to come into play because when there's mouses, there's rats.
Right.
I guess. I don't know. Brady took Candyland, damn it. I'm doing the best I can here.
Okay. And Carissa, great minds think alike because I was thinking of Chutes and Ladders too.
Chutes and Ladders as well.
I'm going to tell you, this is how dumb I am. My first thought was Twister, and then I realized Twister is life size. So,
right.
It's like standing on the table.
Howard said, "What about Operation?" That's another one.
Nice one.
So, if you were Operation, if it were life size, would you be the one being operated on?
Or would you be doing the operating?
It goes both ways. Somebody you'd have to. I mean,
I would guess you'd be the one operating, though. I mean, you're never in a situation in that game where you.
True.
Otherwise, it'd just be like an alien abduction.
Yeah.
All right. So Brady and Candyland, or Todd and Mousetrap.
Mousetrap. Man mouse. You're again. Just picture it. 3'8", mouseman.
Roll the dice and move your mice. Well, yeah, but are you going to be on the seesaw that gets tipped? Are you the person, or is that somebody else that gets flipped from the seesaw into the cup at the end?
3'8", mouseman. That's my selling point. That's on the box. Imagine a world.
Brady would be the liver.
That's
according
true.
to Carissa. Joey, Todd would be on the table. Brady would be operating. Eric would announce it. Yes, that's how that would go.
As long as Eric doesn't have to see a spleen removal.
That's right. We can't have that.
Splenectomy.
Howard said he would be the surgeon. So
yes, you probably definitely don't want us doing the surgery.
I'm surprised nobody.
I'm winning this one, Eric. Mark it down.
You're winning this because Todd.
Yeah,
says,
you're winning. You're winning
Howard
this
says
one.
Todd.
Man trap.
Man trap. 2 votes for Todd. Audience.
I think there was like 3 or 4 there. I'm
counting
more.
Well,
some
of these, I don't know if they were votes. I mean, they were just kind of comments.
I'm like an adult mouse.
Mouse. Todd, it's a sewer rats. Joey, Brady has the skull slope of someone into blood.
Why am I fearful of Joey? I don't get intimidated by very many people, but Joey, man.
My skull slope.
Yes. I have an off podcast joke I would like to make to Joey about that.
Not off color, off podcast.
Yes, exactly.
Looks like Todd.
Call it done.
Yeah, I call it done. 1-1.
Should this be the decider?
Null set.
We're at the 2-hour mark, so I'm going to call this one the deciding question here. All right, gentlemen. Todd, you get to go first. 1-1 game. Which throwback lunchbox snack would blow my nostalgic mind the most right now? So let me read it again. Which throwback lunchbox snack would blow my nostalgic mind the most right now?
So if we could reach back in time.
Yes.
Okay.
Edible underwear.
Did you ever take edible underwear to school in your lunchbox?
Everybody
did. A fruit roll up.
Everybody who took a fruit roll up, it's exactly what they were. So fruit roll up. I'm going with that because all you need is a scissor and you can shape it into a pair of underwear. It was the same thing. So I hear. I'm going with fruit roll up, aka edible underwear. Think about that. Fruit that rolled up and flattened out like paper.
Yes.
It was amazing.
Amazing.
Tasted terrible, but it was amazing. You guys might be a little old. You guys are probably a little old for fruit roll-ups.
No.
Really?
Get my age out of your mouth.
Well, coming from the guy who still drinks High C out of little boxes.
And is drinking a Palcho Capri Sun.
Yes. I am pretty sure that fruit roll-ups would have been when you guys were damn near out of high school.
No, the fruit roll-ups came out sooner. They did.
My question off the topic here, Brady. I mean, we're 2 hours into this show and you're still sucking liquid out.
Nursing.
How's that possible? Do you have a whole box of Capri Suns right beside you?
You missed me finish up the Dr. Pepper.
Take the nipple off that Capri Sun there, Brady. Eric, I demand a side conversation here. I would like you to look up and see when fruit roll-ups came out. Because
I can do it.
I am pretty sure I was in junior high, which would have put you guys in like junior, senior.
No.
Maybe 6th grade.
Oh.
You're going to be surprised. You're going to be surprised. You guys were in high school. You should have been eating them.
Yeah. 1983 is when the fruit roll-ups were invented.
So again, you guys were like freshmen in high school.
No.
I was in 6th grade.
6th grade?
Yeah, exactly. Someone was in 6th grade, not you.
Did you have them? Did you guys eat them?
Yeah, I remember when they came out.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was a lot of work to unroll them, to unravel them.
They
lot of
weren't called fruit. What?
They
You did have to roll them up.
Yeah, there were a lot of saran wrap in them.
Yeah.
Surprising. Ended up just being a square of fruit.
Yeah.
A squaw.
Yeah, fruit roll-up sounds much better than pressed fruit squaw.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think there was any fruit in them. Although they did have, remember they had the little seeds?
Fruit
You know?
taste.
Yeah. They had little blemishes in them, like little.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the
And then-
chunk to keep him from getting, sued.
So the question remains, or the question is, did you unravel them? They should have been called fruit unravel-ups. Or did you just eat them as a stick?
Or wad them up into a giant gummy.
Yeah, there were a couple ways to eat them. You had three options. You could make it into a ball and pretend like you were chewing backer.
That
Or
was a valid option.
yes, you could unroll them and then nibble them from one of the four corners, or just from, if you were a madman, you could just do it straight from the
Madman.
side. Or you could leave it as a stick and eat
Or
it as
you
like
could
a
fold it in
stick,
half.
like a Slim Jim.
There's not anybody that's ever had a fruit roll-up that has not done what I'm about ready to describe. When you fold it in half and bite the middle out of it, then you open it up, and there's a hole. There's
Yeah, you create all kinds of shapes. Bats, orangutans. You could create any shape you wanted with a talented biter, with a talented set of teeth.
and then have like an origami.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
One time I think I bit mine in the shape of a Soupy Campbell. I think I.
Oh, that's a deep dive.
All right, Brady, what's your answer?
I am going to say at this moment, if I could reach back into a past lunchbox and grab an item, it would be a whatchamacallit.
Whatchamacallit's always were your fave.
Uh-oh, we lost Eric.
I didn't lose Eric.
Okay, I just lost Eric temporarily, but you were still there, Todd.
But
Sorry.
you lost me when you said a whatchamacallit was a
Candy
lunchtime
bar.
snack. I know it was a candy bar, but a lunchtime snack?
Yeah,
He always had one as a lunchbox.
Fancy.
Fancy.
Here's your one chance, Fancy. Don't let me down.
Good,
All right.
good call, Amy. My favorite too.
Yes, Amy says her favorite candy bar. Chris voted Twinkie.
That's good.
Ooh,
Twinkie's good.
that's solid. Or a zebra cake.
Oh, is it?
I got to vote against Brady's only because I don't consider a whatchamacallit a lunchtime snack. That's a dessert.
I don't come
Or
to tell you what can be a snack or not.
a fruit roll-up was literally a lunchtime staple. A whatchamacallit was just showing off.
Showing off. So, Gary, the question is, Gary says Pop Rocks. So did you take that chance, as was the rumor back in the day, if you ate the Pop Rocks and drank pop with them, that your head would blow up or something?
It wasn't your head, it's your stomach. It would fill up with carbon dioxide, and your stomach would explode, and your organs would leak out of your orifices.
Joey says we used to get those little boxes of raisins you could blow into and it would whistle. Yes.
See? That man never experienced a whatchamacallit for his lunchtime snack. Just blown into a raisin box.
Oh yeah, the raisin box foghorn. Yeah, that was like it had to be Sun-Maid brand because the other off brand it was glued instead of having the like the tabs. You know what I mean? The tucking tabs. So when you honked on that box, it would make a foghorn sound. It's impressive.
All right.
Raisin whistle.
It was more like it was a cardboard mouth harp is what it was.
Yes, it was.
So John voted fruit roll up. Gary said fruit roll up as well. Savannah says the whatchamacallit. Gary
Not a
said he
lunchtime
played-
snack.
Played it safe and chased the pop rocks with milt.
Milt is being milt.
Milt. Lemonade.
Around
Dennis,
the Gurner. Amy.
Back to topic 1. Dennis says the whatchamacallit.
See, we couldn't afford whatchamacallits when I was growing up. Dad, are you listening?
Right when you had to walk uphill to school both ways.
We had to make our own Fruit Loops. We had to go out and we had a fruit
Bonk a
press.
toucan on the head.
Chuck,
we had-
no, Chuck had the real Fruit Loops. You had the off-brand.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we had to go out and
You
run
had
over them
Fruitios.
with our lawnmower to make our own fruit roll-ups. We had to take the old apples that had gone bad.
Sit on him a while.
Well, right now we got 2 votes for Todd and 2 votes for Brady. Who's going to break the tie here?
Todd.
Whoever breaks the tie wins that person the game. Fruit roll-ups or whatchamacallits?
Lunchtime snack?
Which throwback lunchbox snack would blow my Brady for sure, says Amy. Brady wins the game.
Thank you, Amy.
I don't normally contest my losses, but I will argue again that a whatchamacallit is not a lunchtime snack.
Would you argue if
Who
it
eats
appeared,
a full size beautiful candy bar as a
I
lunchtime
didn't say it was
snack?
full size.
Well,
Some
what
of them
they
were
never
fun
they never
size.
make Eric.
No,
Tell him,
Brady, they were
Eric.
always full size.
Yeah. Eric,
There
let
was
me ask
never-
you another
they never
question.
even make fun size.
Exactly. There's no fun size
They put them in
whatchamacallits.
Lunchables. They would put the Nestle Crunch, the little.
No. Yes, Nestle
Crunch
Crunches.
is not a whatchamacallit.
Eric, I'm going to put the spotlight on you. Did anyone else have a whatchamacallit at lunch, Eric,
No.
ever in the history
Amy
of
did.
school?
No.
No.
I didn't have it every lunch.
Let this be an asterisk beside Brady's win tonight. And let's celebrate Brady's win with
And
a
ask,
king size whatchamacallit.
no, full size is not fun size, Gary. I like human size is fun size. These little things here, and we talked about this before. This is not fun size.
Yeah, that would be like
In
me
any
saying
way, shape, or form.
Horse leg size.
that would be like me saying the steak Collinsworth at Jeff Ruby's was my lunchtime snack. That's what I'm putting into the running. What's the new whatchamacallit? I think I talked about this in another episode. It's like a Huda Dinky or
Who's
something.
watch it or
Who's a-
Watch a who's it's.
yeah,
No.
whatever it is. It looks. I haven't had one yet, but all right, Brady. I will
Gary
reluctantly.
also says he bets your dad has a stash of whatchamacallits.
Yes, not my
Eat
dad.
Too many of them, you'll get whatchamacallitis.
My dad had daddy's cookies.
Ooh, Mama's cookies. There's a
Oh.
lunchtime snack.
Remember the
That's
what?
right before your time. Tom.
What about the cookies with the nasty ass jelly or the blotch of just the blanch of jelly? You know what I'm talking about? Like it was shaped.
Scab.
Yeah, it was shaped like the predator's mouth, like in the middle of the cookie.
Yeah.
Which was less edible than the fruit roll up.
Well, you had to eat around it, and then trade the middle for other food. Trade the middle for some stewed tomatoes that then you could pour your chocolate milk in and stir with your straw.
Amy liked the sticks you dipped in cheese.
Yeah.
Like,
With the little
Like,
thing
oh
you peel
yeah,
off.
yeah. Now that's Amy.
Oh,
That is a
yeah.
lunchtime snack.
I'm an idiot. I was thinking actual sticks. I'm like,
No, well, when we were younger, we had the crackers and you had the little red spreader.
Well, there's
Yeah.
that. Yeah,
The
right.
red, yeah, the
it's
red.
the same thing that goes in collar tabs to keep your dress shirt collars.
Yeah, you
stiff.
had the
Something
little
like
red the long hexagon
Yeah.
tool that you spread the cheese on. But then later on, you had the sticks where you didn't have to have the red tool.
Yeah. You just
Right.
dip and chomp.
yeah, yeah.
All right, good game. Good game.
Gain you gain.
Brady wins on a technicality.
Yes, he does. Brady, you owe all of us whatchamacallits now. If you come to our 100th episode, Brady will have whatchamacallit.
Yeah, watch
for everybody.
For all.
Yeah, it'll just be a lunchtime snack though, so it won't cost him a damn dime.
I had him every week. It was the one that blew my mind.
How come that's what I remember? In every lunch that you had a watch.
Because it blew your mind and just stuck with you.
It did blow my mind.
Because Eric was there with 3 damn Raisinets that he had to share with the whole family.
That's right. I was eating the school salad with cucumbers in it and belching for a week. And you had whatchamacallit.
The sausage sandwich.
He had to melt Baker's chocolate and take dryer lint and dip it into chocolate to make his own Raisinets because they couldn't afford the Raisinets. It was chocolate dryer lint.
He had the dip.
When I was in high school, my dad was retired on a fixed income. We didn't have
he had
buy whatchamacallit.
He had to dip his veal patty on bun in red gold ketchup like some kind of damn
not fancy
Philistine.
commoner.
Regular ketchup.
Yeah. He had to pretend he had to pretend his steak nuggets were really steak.
Not gristle.
Not possum nuggets. The other yellow meat.
Oh,
Gristle nuggets.
Gristle nuggets.
Gruggets.
Some sinew nuggets.
All right.
String sinew. Like a
uh,
cheese stick where it just peels. God.
That's it for episode 93. God help us all. Audio version comes out Friday morning, 3 a.m. On our platforms. You can find us on most audio platforms. Our big ones are Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and the iHeartRadio app, as well as some of our Indian platforms, Ghana being most popular there. Video-wise, we are archived on YouTube on our channel. Search Play It By Ear podcast there. Also archived here on Facebook and on Twitch. Find our social media links on our website, www.playitbyairpodcast.com. We are on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagrams. You can interact via email with us, admin@playitbyairpodcast.com. You can also leave a voice message. Click the link at your audio podcast provider. We will put that voice message right into the show. We're still wanting a voice message.
So I have to say, earlier before we started the podcast, Mrs. Griffin was saying that she was wanting to leave a voicemail earlier, but she could not remember exactly how to do it. So, Eric, could you explain very slowly and carefully how they do that?
If you go to your audio podcast platform, whatever that is, Anchor is our main. That's the one that pushes out the audio. But go to Google, you can go to iHeart, you can go to
Spotify,
yes. There's a link there on our main page, and it says leave a voice message. Click this link. If you click the link, you can leave a voice message there. And again, we will get that. We can place that right into the show when we do the editing. So that's how you do it.
Yes. By the way, we will buy a whatchamacallit for everyone who leaves a voicemail between now and the next episode.
There you go. All right. Once again, want to remind you, June 5th, Sons of Toil Brewing,
Live.
episode 100 in front of a live audience. We will be there. Going to be a lot of fun. Going to be cake.
We will bathe. We will
bathe.
We won't stink.
We hope not. Either literally or figuratively. So yeah, come out and join us. Help us celebrate. Watch on Facebook. We'll put out an event there. You can leave us an RSVP. Let us know if you're going to come or maybe come or if you can. But again, that's a Sunday night, 5 to 8, June 5th. Anything else for the good of the order, gentlemen?
Oh, good.
So thank you guys so much for chiming in and
hanging with us.
Outstanding audience. We had at one point we had 22 people in the room, I think. So
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much.
All right. With that, Todd, take us out.
Thanks for listening to the Play It By Ear podcast. You can follow us on Facebook, Twitter @Play It By Ear Pod 2, and our website at anchor.fm/Play It By Ear podcast. Thanks again, and join us next time as we play it by ear.